Hi, friends. Well, you asked for it. You asked for it in the comments. So I have delivered a What Sold video for June of 2025. Feels like the angle is weird, or maybe it's the lighting. Not sure. Anyhow, I'm here. I have a bunch of space here so that I can pop up What Sold. I said I wasn't going to do any more What Sold videos because I think I've made like 2 or 3 and they just didn't, I feel like I didn't really get any new subscribers with them, which is of course the goal, right? We post things on YouTube because we want to get subscribers and we want to eventually get our little check. And I know that when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna get my little $5 check. I would just want to be able to say that I did it. I want to be able to say that I got a check from YouTube, right? So, and they didn't perform that well last time, the What Sold videos, but you all in the comments said that you wanted to see it. So let's get into it. But first I want to introduce myself and explain a little bit about what I sell and how I sell. For those who are new here, I have been selling for about 18 years on eBay and less time on Poshmark. Poshmark maybe 8 years. I gotta check. The majority of my sales come from eBay, and actually this video is just eBay items. I did okay, I think, in June for Poshmark, but I would say that about 80% of my resale income comes from eBay. Poshmark is very hit or miss for me. I know everybody is different. My experience with Poshmark has been that no matter how much time and effort I put into it, it doesn't really, she's not reciprocal. She doesn't reciprocate the relationship, right? And any relationship that you have in life, it has to be reciprocated in some way. And so the more energy that I put into it, I expect a return. And Poshmark just doesn't do that for me. I sell the same things on eBay and Poshmark. Majority of my resale money is from eBay. And I have a list here. Now, the problem with me is that I can't understand my own handwriting. So I was kind of like scribbling, and now I'm like, hopefully I can read what I wrote and hopefully you can understand. I'm going to get into it. Definitely, friends, leave in the comments what you liked or did not like about the video. I think this is going to be fairly long. I would guess at least 30 minutes to get through everything. I was thinking about just doing the highlights of what sold, and then I said, I'll just tell you everything that sold. Okay. And my business model is that I pay roughly $1 or $2 per item, and I sell most of these items anywhere between $15 and $25. If it's more or less, I will usually tell you. All right, so let's jump into it. My first sale, and I also like to say how long I had the item because that matters. If you want things that are selling quick, then that information is there for you to make your decisions on what to buy. And remember, as always, that what works for me may not work for you. I'm just here to entertain you. I'm not here to give you business advice. Although I have been in business for almost 18 years and I have rode the waves, the highs and lows of reselling. Okay. My first sale was an Old Navy maxi dress, size extra large. She was new with tags. And she sold in 1 month. If you've watched me before, I have told you that I do well with Old Navy maxi dresses, especially in larger sizes. If I recall correctly, I paid $3 for this, which is more than what I normally pay. But because I have a good track record with Old Navy maxi dresses, I was okay with spending the $3 on it. And it did sell for my asking price of $23 in a month. This one, friends. This is why I said it's going to be a long video, because I'm going to be talking about everything. But go ahead, grab your little snacky snack. Grab your little cupcake. Grab your little cookies. Your little pretzels, your little chips. And we're just going to chat. When by Chaz Dean. I found these in a church thrift store. And church thrift stores that are profitable are becoming fewer and further between. But I digress. That's a whole different video. I was really lucky to find these. I want to say that I paid, it was a while ago. It was a while ago and I sat on them. I know that I didn't pay, was it $2 each? I know that I didn't pay more than $2 each. I want to say that it was like $1.50 or, no, I think it was $2. I think it was $2 each. I definitely comped these out, and I don't comp everything out. If you've watched my videos, I don't comp everything out. I've been doing this for a long time. I have a basic idea of what things are going to sell for, and it's kind of a no-lose situation for me. I pay $1 for this stuff. I also sell at a local flea market, so whatever doesn't sell, I throw it on my table for $1. I get my money back, so I don't really comp things out. I did comp these out because I was paying $2 each, I think, and I said cha-ching in my brain. I brought all of them, and I sold 3 sets of these When by Chaz Dean conditioning shampoo something. I put them in lots. I did my research, and I decided that going the lot route was the best route to go. Oh, maybe I only sold 2 of them. Correction, I sold 2 of these sets for $99 each. So this was a really good month. I don't normally sell things for $99. We already at 6 minutes, and that's only my second item. I sold 2 of these this month, so I'm not going to go over it's on the list, but I'm going to skip past it. Just know that I sold 2 of these, and they sold in less than a month for $99 plus shipping. I was so happy to do that because you know that in summertime, sales can be a little slow. J. Jill top, size medium. I sold that one for $18, and I had that. We're just going to say that I had it for a long time. When you look at this picture, and let me know in the comments if you can see the picture well enough, or if I should make it bigger or do a different way of doing it altogether. There are dates on there if you look closely, and the dates on there will normally tell you when I first listed this item. So I had this one listed for a long time, but it did sell for $18, and I was really happy about that. I said that I was going to slow down on J. Jill, and every time, and it was a medium, and every time I say I'm going to slow down on J. Jill, I end up selling J. Jill. You're probably going to get $15 for her. Her height, when she was very popular and you could get good money for her, that has come and gone like every other brand. That's reselling, right? Every brand that's hot, eventually it will not be hot. But she's bread and butter. That's what she does. This is an unbranded white dress. I was hesitant on this, but if you've watched my videos before, I have told you that I do well with white dresses. Just white dresses. Normally they are mall brand dresses. White dresses, Express, Ann Taylor, New York and Company, white dresses. They sell like hotcakes for me in warm weather. But I've never really sold like an unbranded white dress. And so I was a little hesitant on it. I think this one had the tag on it, and it was like a small medium. She only sold for $15, but she sold within a month. I was very surprised. I don't do a lot of unbranded items in general. I don't do a lot of Shein. I just don't. I will sometimes, occasionally. So I did take a chance on that one because it was unbranded, and I was like, is that going to be a hindrance? But it sold within less than a month for $15. This was another great sale. I sold a few of these in the past few months. These Avon brow liners. This was another church thrift store that I got these from. Paid $1 each, I think. I love beauty. If I could just do beauty, 90% of what I sell is clothing, but if I could switch over into another lane, get out of my lane and go into somebody else's lane, it would be cosmetics and beauty products. I like them personally for myself, so I like to resell them. The Avon brow liners, I paid $1 each, lotted them up and sold it for $39.99, so I was really happy about that. This H2O face cream, more cosmetics, sold within 7 months. And they sold for $30. I had never seen this brand before. If I recall correctly, this was a Marketplace find. I don't buy a lot of stuff from Marketplace. For some reason, ever since they've done all the updates, I just have a difficult time navigating Marketplace. I try to filter it to where I live, and it keeps showing me stuff. I've tried, please, friends. I've tried every filter. I hit local. I say that I only want to see stuff that's local. I have adjusted where I live a million times, and it keeps showing me stuff that is 50 miles away. So I'm over. Like, I very rarely go on Marketplace, but this was something that I brought prior to giving up on it, and that sold for $30. I want to say, I don't think I paid more than $2 or $3 for these. It was a while ago, though. These Avenue pants, friends. I had these pants 3 years. 3 years I had these pants. I had it in this color, and I still have the other ones in the black color. Had these for 3 years, brand new with tag, size 26, 28. I started these off probably at close to $30, and as you know, time and months go by, I lower it. I eventually took an offer for $18. I could not pack those pants up fast enough. I said, get them out of my face. However, I did get a return request on this. And if this video wasn't going to be as long as I know it's going to be, I would get into how June was historic for me in terms of returns. I think I talk a little bit about it. You've either seen it in the video before this, or it will probably be in the video right after this one in about a week and a half. One of those two, I kind of got into the returns for June. I will just tell you that I have been on eBay for 18 years. I have never seen anything like June. 18 years I've been selling on eBay. I have never seen that many returns like I got in June. So she got these, and I don't know if you can see the title very clearly here, what it says, but I do describe my items, and I do add measurements to every single listing. For pants, I do the waist, I do the rise, and I do the inseam, and I always write in my description that they are approximate measurements. So I can be off by maybe like a half an inch. At the most, I'll be off an inch, which does make a difference for some. But long story short, she did a return request. She didn't do that fake item not as described like some of those people did in June. She was honest. She said they didn't fit. I really did not want to let her return them because by that point I was frustrated with all the returns. But I was going to accept it. I reached out to her and I said, hey, just FYI, I'm not refunding, like the way that the eBay returns work is that I'm not going to refund you the shipping to get there or the shipping back. So you're going to be out shipping like $20. And I wasn't doing that to dissuade her. I genuinely did feel bad because the pants cost like, I want to say like $9 to ship. And I did feel bad. I'm like, she's going to spend $20 to send these $18 pants back. I did feel bad. Ultimately, she never answered. I'm like, do you still want to do it? I'm just letting you know, like, you're going to be out like $20 for the shipping. And she ended up never replying back. So I did feel bad, but I felt bad, but I also was like, oh, thank God. So watch my other videos if you want to hear about like the returns in June. I thought it was crazy. Let me know if you've had like crazy returns lately. I very rarely get returns. It was something in the water in June. This J. Crew Ratty, I guess that's how you pronounce it, extra large top novelty print with the animal on it. Friends, I love a good novelty print. If you've watched my haul videos and for any length of time, if it has an animal on it, if it has a funny print on it, I'm probably going to buy it and I'm probably going to regret it because, I mean, they're not the best sellers. I have a thing for cute prints and they are very hit or miss. Nonetheless, this one did sell. I think I did comp this one out. I did comp this one out prior to buying it, and that's why I did it, because I'm trying to be more cautious with the novelty prints. I'm like, and you got to get your feelings out of it. This is business. So I did comp this one out prior to buying it, and I did see that some of them had sold decently. So I priced mine at $30, and I think I sent an offer for $27. It sold within 3 weeks. This J. Jill linen top, size medium. And I wrote this list a few days ago, so in my brain, I cannot picture which J. Jill top this is. I'm wondering if it's the blue one. Can't remember. This is also a size medium. I sold another J. Jill size medium that I talked about earlier for $18. And this linen top also sold for, no, this isn't the blue one. This was something that I recently got. Oh, it is blue. Yep, it is blue. And that sold within 11 days. So I have slowed down on J. Jill. I still will pick her up, but I will comp her out prior to. It seems that the linen J. Jill does better than some of the other lines that she has. That was a good sale. It's a good sale not because of the monetary value, but it sold in 11 days. And if something can sell that quick, which as I'm telling you how long I've had this stuff, you'll see that like I don't have quick sellers. I don't like this is bread and butter stuff, friends. It sits. This Ann Taylor white top, I had this listed for like a year and she sold for $15, size large, just a real basic Ann Taylor top. I know that this video is going to be lengthy, but I have to stop here and explain something. When you see the dates in my pictures here, If I say that I had something listed for 3 years, like those Avenue pants that she tried to return, it does not mean that I had it consistently listed for 3 years straight. I have a basic store subscription where I can only do 1,000 items per month. So I will end the listings. And then sometimes when I end a listing, it can take me anywhere from a week up to 2 months to circulate it back onto eBay. So when I say that I've had it for 3 years, it does not mean that it has been listed for 3 years. There were times that it was off the market and then back on the market, but never more than like 2 months. So this one I had for a year. I know that she wasn't listed the whole year. I think I relisted her and she sold pretty quickly. And I'm sorry, not relisted, sold similar. This Club Room merino sweater was another return. Had this for 2.5 years. Couldn't pack this thing up fast enough. This customer did a return and said item not as described. He said that my measurements were off by, I want to say it was an inch. And I don't know, maybe an inch does make a huge difference. I do write in my listings that it's an approximate measurement. So really it didn't fit him. And really if the item didn't fit, then he should have opened up the return as item didn't fit. But you know, these customers are going to try to circumvent the system whenever they can. Y'all lucky I didn't put his name up here, because but I will from here on out. I know that others are like, oh, that's unprofessional. Well, I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. If you're trying to scam me, or it's just something about people trying to circumvent the return policy, or just the sneakiness that irritates me. So I don't have any like empathy for that. I don't really care about blasting their name or anything. So I will do it in the future. But what I did do was I definitely blocked him afterwards. Now you may agree, you may disagree. And one day I'm going to do a video on reseller hot topics where we can talk about it. He should have just said it didn't fit him. And even though I don't accept returns, I will occasionally. I accepted returns in June for fit. It really honestly just depends on what mood I'm in. He could have caught me on a bad day and I could have declined it. So I guess I can kind of understand why he's tried to circumvent the system. But long story short, he returned it. I sold that for $17. It was there for 2.5 years. And I 100% blocked him. I don't want him buying from me ever again, because if a half an inch is going to make that much of a difference, please don't shop with me. I don't need your $17 that much, honestly. These Naturalizer white sandals, size 7.5, sold for $18. I had them listed for 2 years. Not much to say about that. I don't sell a ton of shoes. The Juicy Couture purse, I hope you saw this in a haul video. Hopefully you saw this already. If not, I talk about it in one of the videos. It's a mini purse. She's about pretty small, more of like a wristlet, so a little bigger than a wristlet. And I paid $5 for her. Because I was paying $5, I definitely comped it out prior to buying it. When it's $1, I don't comp it out, because like I said, I'll throw it on my flea market table. Easy, simple, get my dollar back, no biggie. When it's $5, I will comp it out. Or even if it's like anywhere from $3 to $5, I comp it out. And I did comp this one out, and I saw that they were all selling. I sold her for $35 within 4 days. So that's a great flip. If every flip could be like this, I would be rich, or at least in a much better financial position than I am right now. But anyway, I was really nervous because y'all know these customers don't be reading the right way. They don't read, they don't pay attention, they don't scroll. They be a little dizzy sometimes. I'm dizzy sometimes too, so it's okay. I get it. And I was really nervous that they were going to try to return it and say it's too small, even though I had the measurements there. So I was nervous about that. No return so far. Fingers crossed. I don't know if the 30 days are up yet. These Loft cropped pants, I had them listed for 7 months. Probably at $8. They were new with tags. I probably had them at $18, and I believe I sent an offer for $16, and they brought them. Petites take a long time to sell for me. This ink black maxi skirt, extra large, new with tags, sold for $30 within 6 months. If something sells within 3 months or less, I consider that like a quick flip for me. This was 6 months, so it's like in the middle. And that was a full price sale. This Brooks Brothers button-down shirt, size 16, new with tags, sold for $25. I think I had her up for like $30 and kept lowering the price. I sold similar, relisted her at a lower price of $25 instead of $30, and I think she sold fairly quickly. However, altogether, I would say she was up there for about 2 years. JM Collection white linen skirt, size large. It's a maxi skirt, 100% linen. JM Collection, I'm sure you've heard this brand before. I don't pick her up too much, but I told you before, white dresses sell well for me. Linen, white linen, even better. I sold this for $20, and I did comp this one out prior to buying it. This one got a lot of interest on eBay and Poshmark. I had it listed on both, and I had watchers on both platforms, which is not super common for me. And it sold within 1 month. So if you come across JM Collection, or I don't know if it's the brand that sold it or just the fact that it's a white linen skirt, you might want to check that out. Okay, that was the Wen Chaz D, and we already went over that. These tall bits, do y'all say towel bits or tall butts? We have this debate at work all the time. I say legs, not legs. Legs is what I say. I also say eggs, not eggs. So excuse me if my pronunciation is off a little bit. But I've been told that I'm completely wrong and that I don't talk the right way. I call it Talbots. But as I just explained with the eggs, legs, don't go by what I say. You pronounce it the way you want to pronounce it. Linen pants, size 14, new with tag. Sold that for $25, and that took a year to sell. This casino theme dress, again, with the novelty prints, and I have one. If you like this dress, I also have one listed with roller skates on it. It's like a purple one, same exact brand. A purple one with roller skates on it. Novelty print, so cute. I think it's cute. This casino dress, size extra large. It was like unbranded. It sold for $20 in a year, so I thought that was great. Volcom shorts, size 5, new with tags. I don't think I've ever sold Volcom before, ever. I don't even know what made me I just saw the tags on it, and I'm very iffy with shorts. I'm comping out shorts from here on out. Like, shorts don't sell well for me. They sit forever. So I think that's what made me comp it out, the tag on it. And I said, let me, since I'm like kind of nervous to buy shorts because they very rarely sell for me, I did comp them out prior to purchasing them. And I never would have known. This is like not a new to me. I've heard of it before. I've never like sold Volcom before. And I was like, they were selling. Who would have known? It's like a Volcom board shorts for women. Size small, new with tags, $20, sold in 1 week. Was it 1 week or 1 month? Maybe I wrote that wrong. I can't remember. You'll see here when I listed it. Sold pretty quickly. I don't know how to pronounce this, friends. Haute Monde, large dress, size 25. This was actually my dress. I wore this for my birthday 2 or 3 years ago. That dress right there. Yep, the one that you're looking at. On my birthday, I definitely dress like a hooker. It's probably the one time of year that I try to get the sexiest, raunchiest outfit that I can find. And I wear it. So I wore it, and I thought I looked pretty good in it. It's like it stretches really good. It held everything in, so no problems there. It was the look that I was going for, but I think I'm going to retire it now. And some of you might be thinking in your head, you wore that dress at your age. I sure did. And I'm going to keep wearing stuff like that, friends, because I don't like this idea, and I'm going on a little tangent, that women of a certain age have to dress like grandmoms. I just don't agree with that. Why? Because society tells us that we can't look sexy anymore. So we got to go wear us muumuus now because we're a certain age. I'm going to keep dressing the way I want to dress as long as I possibly can, friends. And I suggest you do the same and stop letting society tell you what you can and cannot wear and what you can and cannot do. But I digress. For more content like that, you'll want to check out my TikTok page. I do have a TikTok page, The Goddess Speaks. I give a lot of relationship advice, life advice. So if you like my style, you might like that page. And as you can see, I don't hold my tongue very much. So they sold for $25. And I think I probably paid $15 for that last year. I got it from like Ross or TJ Maxx or something. So I was surprised. Keep an eye out. When I was doing my research, that brand sells pretty well. These Christmas stockings, I originally had them in a set of like 5 or 6 vintage Christmas stockings. I don't know much about vintage Christmas stuff, but when you find vintage Christmas stuff, you definitely want to look it up and comp it out. I know that some vintage stockings sell for a lot. I had them in a lot for like $20, listed for 2.5 years. Somebody reached out and said, can I just buy the miniature ones, because I had some regular size ones and some miniature ones, and I said sure. So I made a special lot for them, and she brought it for $14. This Avon Tahitian holiday perfume, I saw a lady on Marketplace. This was last summer, I think. Avon going out of business. I made a deal with her. I brought a bunch of vintage Avon stuff. Please be careful. Not all Avon vintage sells. I did a lot of research before making her an offer. And even still, because I brought a bunch of Avon stuff from her, even still with me doing my research and giving her an offer, my profit margin still wasn't as good as it should have been. I kept a lot of the stuff for me. I'm an 80s baby, and I love me some vintage Avon, baby. I love me some vintage Avon. I honestly do. I love it. The rare gold. Tell me, do y'all remember Avon? I even used to be a consultant at one time. They've changed a lot, by the way. I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments if I'm talking too much about things other than reselling. I told y'all to get a snacky snack. Put me on pause and go grab your snack from out the fridge. I'll wait. Just pause it. Because I'm talking a lot today. But I love me a good vintage Avon perfume. So I made a deal with her. I think I gave her like $200 for a bunch of stuff. I made a little bit of profit. It wasn't a ton of profit. My sentimental side got the best of me. And when you're making sentimental decisions, when it comes to making money in business, it's probably going to be a failure, friends. But it's okay. It's all in good fun. This Avon Tahitian holiday perfume, I had it listed. I had it since last summer. You're probably like, but it says 2 weeks. Yeah, I had it for a while, and I did eventually get around to listing it 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, and it sold for $27. So I thought that was good. This Lee shorts lot, I just said that I don't sell a lot of shorts. I had this listed for 2 years, 2. So before you say that I'm going back on my word and I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, I've slowed down. Most of my shorts that I had, I took them to the flea market and sold them for like $3 each. I probably got my money back. It just takes a long time to sell shorts for me personally. And everybody's different, because I bet you some of you out there are thinking to yourself, shorts are my best seller. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this stuff, friends. There's no rhyme or reason. Just do what works for you. They sold for $20. I'm surprised. 18W sold within 2 years. J. Jill Maxi dress linen. So I will still get, I'm not going to say that I don't pick up J. Jill anymore. I pick her up, but I'm selective about her. She was a petite small, and $38 was not bad for that dress. And that sold within 1 year. These Fredericks of Hollywood shoes, size 9 with the little feathers, they sold for $22. It took 6 months to sell. Unfortunately, as I was packing them up, I noticed that the feathers were coming loose. Womp womp. So I did ask her if she wanted to cancel. I was going to give her a discount. I was practically going to give them to her. I said, do you want a discount or do you just want to cancel it? She said cancel it. Totally understood why. So, but keep an eye out for them, because they did sell for $22, and I had a good amount of interest on them. This Disney Parks tribal mask I had for 11 months. It sold for $17. That was a little bit out of my, like I said, I sell 90% clothing. I don't really do household stuff. I don't know where I got that from. I don't know what made me pick it up. I must have done my research. It sold for $17. It's not my area of expertise. This Dreams & Co. zipper front robe, nightgown, house dress, whatever you want to call it. I call it all of that. It was in a size 1X petite. And I said, this is going to be a hard sell. I did comp this out prior to buying it, and look at that brand right there. Look at it closely. Dreams & Co. nightgowns. they seem to have a pretty decent sell-through rate. I thought this one would sit a little longer because of the size. It's like an extra large petite, and petites are pretty hard for me to sell, but it sold within 5 days for $20. That was a great flip. This Chico's No Iron Button Up Extra Large New with Tag. So I actually sold 2 Chicos. No, I didn't. I'm lying. Oh, I'm getting it confused with the Brooks Brothers. This Chico's No Iron Button Up Extra Large New with Tags. I had that listed for 6 months and she sold for $25. Not much to say about that. Torrid Curve Satin Bra is a size 40 DDD, new with tags. I had that for 2 weeks and sold it for $22. And if right now you're thinking, well, how much did she pay for this stuff? I don't know if you missed it in the front. Pretty much everything here that I'm telling you, unless otherwise, I paid $1 or $2 for it. And this bra was no different. I paid $1 or $2 for it. Sold for $22 within 2 weeks. Jones New York skirt. Size 14, it's new with tags. She sold for $15. And this was another one that I was like, thank God you're going. Thank God. I had that listed for so long. 2.5 years, I think, I had her listed. She finally sold for $15. Almost done. Okay, I thought it was going to be 40 minutes. Maybe, maybe not. Tipsy Elves tank top, extra, extra large, new with tag, sold for $20 within 2 months. It sold right before 4th of July. I hope they weren't expecting to get it by the 4th of July because they purchased this on like the 3rd. I don't know, the 1st or the 2nd. They didn't give me enough time, so I definitely didn't get to them in time for 4th of July if that's what they were wanting it for. But I thought that was a good sale. Wrap London linen top. Keep an eye on that. This is one to be on the lookout for. If you're okay with selling something for $20, you know. If you want to sell stuff for $50, then first and foremost, this probably isn't the channel for you. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't sell a lot of stuff for more than 50, even more than 30. I mean, you see, majority of this stuff here is like 20. Like I said, $20, $25. So I'm not the person that's gonna tell you what to sell for $50, but this Wrap London brand is new to me. I had never heard of it before. I had it in 2 different colors and they both sold relatively quickly. This one sold within 2 months. It's a large. Wrap London is the name of it. This Pretty Garden sweater. Pretty Garden is like an off-brand. I'm assuming that it's kind of like a Shein type situation, like an overseas brand. I don't know. Extra large, new with tags. It took 2 years to sell. Selling a thick sweater like this in July, or it was the end of June, 90-degree weather. I had to take a double look at that because I'm like, you know what? I didn't pay attention to what state it was going to. Now I'm curious. I want to know. If I find out, I will put it right here. I'm just curious who buys a sweater at the end of June when we're going into July, but it sold. Who would have known? And it took 2 years to sell. And finally, this Knox Rose tie-dye dress in a size small sold for $15 within 2 years as well. So there it is, friends. That is my what sold. I'll talk about the numbers in just a second. I'm a numbers person. I like doing data and statistics and crunching the numbers and trying to find the average sale price. I didn't do that this time because I was rushing. I would love to know what my average sale price is. Actually, I think I can probably get that information on eBay, so I probably should have checked it out. If I can find the average sales price per item that I sold, I will hit it here. Or I'm going to forget. So if it's not here, I probably forgot. As I'm just looking through this list and as you were listening to me talk, you will find that I definitely have items. My longest item that I had was 3 years, and that was the Avenue pants. And again, this doesn't include anything on Poshmark. My longest sitting item was the 3 years for the Avenue pants, and my quickest sale, just by quickly looking at this, was the Juicy Couture purse that sold for $35 in 4 days. My sales in the month of June, eBay told me that they were down 14%. I'm not surprised. Summer is slow. And my net sales, I didn't catch the gross. And honestly, to me, the gross it just doesn't matter. It's in my world. It may be important to you. To me, my gross sales are irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Like I care about what came into my pocket at the end of the month. And so my net sales were $858. Now, I don't know if this number here, 858 that eBay told me, I don't know if that includes the cancellations and or the refunds. I don't know. I'm not sure. So 858 is what they are telling me are my net sales. I did cancel those Fredericks of Hollywood shoes for 20 something dollars and I had a few returns. But we'll just say that it was $858 net, right? That's nothing to sneeze at. I think that this was a fairly good month. It's been lower than that. It's been higher than that. It really depends. But I would say that 800 is about average for me. In a really lean month, it might be 500, but I'm hovering between $700 and $800 net every month. However, friends, that does not include my cost of goods. Now, I'm terrible at keeping track of my cost of goods. However, I can confidently say that I probably spend anywhere between 80 to probably $150, $200 every month on inventory. I'm going to get better about that. If y'all like this video and, you know, I get subscribers and I get the comments and the likes and all that good stuff, if you share it with your friends, blah, 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 I will go more in depth into that, and I will definitely, starting in July, I'm trying to keep a much better track of how much I'm spending on inventory. I only go out like once a week. I'm a part-time seller. I don't go out after work 99% of the time. So when I do, I go to yard sales maybe, or church thrift stores once a week. So I'm really not spending that much money. Probably maybe $50 to $200. I know that's a broad range, but I will say that if I spent $150 on inventory in June, then that means that I actually made a profit of $700. So I don't know about you, but $700 makes a difference in my world. It might be chump change to some people. For me and my family, it helps out a lot having $700 extra dollars. So that's it, friends. I definitely hope you enjoyed it. Definitely leave a like, a comment, and definitely a subscribe if you want to see more of this in the future. It was great hanging out with you. Don't forget to keep on thrifting, friends. Bye.